Okay, for number 37, we are supposed to find the average rate of change. I would like to remind you that average rate of change is just a really fancy way to say slope. And so this interval that they give you, these are both x's. So I'm going to label this x1 and x2. Oh, by the way, this is section 8.2 of your notes. And in order to find the slope, let's remind ourselves that slope is just change in y over change in x. And I know that might be a little bit confusing, and so another way that we can write it, I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see the sticky note as well, is y2 minus y1. That represents the change in y, and then we have x2 minus x1, which will represent the change in x. It doesn't necessarily matter which one you put as x1 and x2, as long as you are consistent. So first let's focus in a little bit. Oh, that's nice. All right, well, I know that x1 equals 0, so if I want to find y1, what do? Plug it in, plug it in. 2 times 0 squared plus 2 times 0 plus 2, that's going to give you 2. So there's y1. Now x2 is 1/2, y2 is 2 times 1/2 squared plus 2 times 1/2 plus 2. And I don't know about you, but I do not feel like doing that by hand, so I'm just going to type it in my calculator. It's going to take me just a brief moment to pull up. Okay. 2 times, instead of 1/2, I'm going to put it as 0.5 because it's faster to type. Plus 2 times 0.5 plus 2, 3.5. Okay, so once again, I'm just going to plug into this formula. So y2, which was 3.5, minus y1, which is 2, over x2, which is 1/2, and let's call that 0.5, just because it's easier to write, minus x1. So that's going to give us a 1.5 divided by 0.5, and that, you could type that in your calculator, is going to be 3, and that's your average rate of change.